by the title of the video, you guys probably are wondering what happened in these past couple of years. Without getting too much into detail, pretty much I started using credit cards and I went into debt. Now, it's not terrible debt. I like to think small. Anyways, any debt is bad, and at the end of the day, any debt is bad. So I was doing really good with my credit card, learning how to do credit card churning and everything, and then I decided to go all in into the acting thing, and I wasn't making the payments monthly, obviously, because I had the credit card. It's like, oh, okay. I got super excited with the American Express card because I didn't have a limit, and that was a big mistake on my end. That literally shot me in the foot. Now, present day now. It all started last year, I want to say. In December, I started doing the acting, and it was doing really good, but I wasn't paying off the credit card. I just assumed that, and then after that, it snowballed into me having an emergency things I had to do and help out my family, and then that's what led to the debt I have. Do you guys know anything about the avalanche method and the snowball method? I've talked about it before in my channel. Talking about the snowball method because usually that's the one that works best for me. And then you make the minimum payments on all your other debts except the smallest one. You put as much as you can on the smallest one, and when the smallest debt is paid off, then you use that extra payment towards the next smallest one, and then you repeat it until the debt is all gone. You guys probably noticed that obviously in this commentary it's a very different type of style of video that I usually record. I usually am in person, not playing a game, but I've noticed that this is popping off on YouTube, so I decided to give it a shot. And come on, remember the good old days with BO3 back in like 2016? So I decided why not to play it. I've been wanting to play BO3 for a while, so this is a perfect excuse to do that. So with that being said, let's see how I'm gonna get myself out of credit card debt. And I am gonna be fully transparent with you guys with the numbers and everything, just so if anybody's watching this and realizes that they're not in such a bad spot compared to what I am, then that's good, because at the end of the day, I'm hoping that somebody takes this information and actually implements it into their lives. So I've been paying off debt, obviously, so it's not what it used to be. I think I was sitting in like 5,000 in debt in like 2 different credit cards. First one is the Discover card, which now I only have 240 in debt, and it went from 1,700 to 240. And every time I pay it off, something comes up, and that's just what it is. And then the Amex card is sitting at 3,900 as of January 25th, 2026. And I remember when it was not sitting at that, it was sitting at maybe 1,000. Even then, that's too much, and I would have thought I would have never gone this far with it, but it is what it is. So obviously I wrote all my debts and everything I pay off during the month and my expenses, and I did that on my own with sheets and Excel and everything. And just to make sure I'm double verify, I went on ChatGPT, because why not? Why would I not use something that millions of people are using? And if I already have the accurate stuff, then ChatGPT will just be verifying what it tells me, and I'll be also getting a second opinion. So with that being said, my bi-weekly paychecks is around 888 on a good 2 weeks, if I don't miss work and everything. Mind you, I am part-time and I still go to college. My fixed bills is the truck insurance, dental insurance, health insurance, and the truck payment. Overall, all those bills are $685 a month, and then that still leaves me with $1,091 for debt money, savings, or just living. And obviously the monthly income is $1,776. Hey, that's a US reference. So with that being said, what I'll be doing is pretty much paying off the Discover card, paying it off as fast as possible, and then I'm gonna use the remaining amount to pay off the Amex. So we're gonna be going really hard at it, and I'll be paying off either $400 every month for the Amex card, which we'll pay it off in 10 months, or I can do the really strong one, which is $500, and I'll pay it off in 8 months. And then I'll still have $391 for food, gas, or savings. So pretty much just cash for me to have during the week for gas money, going to school, this and that. But yeah, I just want to talk about that and tell you guys how I'm gonna be paying off the stuff, and also just keeping myself accountable from everything. So we were doing, for example, prior to me making the video, I was in, I had Bank of America credit card debt, I had the Discover, and I had ImFredo stuff, and I paid all of that off, and the minimum payments were $36 for the Bank of America, $53 for the Discover card, and $70 for the ImFredo, and then $180 for investing or saving. And I usually do save $50 every 2 weeks. Every paycheck I put $50 into my savings account. But if I were to stop that, I could add all that together and I could be paying $694 for my Amex card, would obviously just take out the whole credit card debt in about 6 to 7 months. So with that being said, if I am to do this, I need to live very frugilant. Is that a word? Frugilant? I forget what the word is. And also just keep myself in check and not putting any more debt into the credit cards that I already have paid off. And then eventually, make sure that my emergency fund is sitting at $1,000 at least. Minimum is $1,000. And then once I get to that $1,000, because I had to take out from my emergency because I had to pay off, my truck broke down, my radiator, so I had to take out some money for emergency fund, so I wouldn't touch the credit cards, and it worked out. But now it's under $1,000, so now I gotta make sure it goes to $1,000, and then I'm gonna pause the savings and investing temporarily and just pay off all my debt, because once I can do that, we'll redirect the snowball into the Roth IRA, which I just recently opened, and be putting at least $100 to $150 a month. And then my emergency fund should be at least worth of 3 to 6 months of my expenses. So for the month of February through March, we're gonna eliminate Discover, which it's only $100 something left. And then through April and August for this year, 2026, we're gonna be attacking the Amex until it's finally gone. And then finally in the fall, we're gonna start rebuilding the savings and start boosting up my RA and enjoy the free cash, and hopefully not have to be in credit card debt anymore. My main goal for this year is start investing and stop wasting my money on debt. Obviously, we also have other factors we can take into consideration, which is college reimbursements, obviously, the tax returns coming up soon. So with that being said, I hope you guys took something from this, learned from my mistakes, and I'll keep you guys updated on how I go with my payoff timeline. And from there, you guys will clearly see where I want to go with my life and everything. And this is something I never thought I would have gotten myself into, but just like how I got myself into it, I can get myself out of it. It's not the end of the world. I mean, it is money that I'm essentially wasting in debt, but it is what it is. And then once we do that, I'll focus on paying off my truck, which is another thing that I need to do. But you know, it's not too bad compared to the credit card debt because of the interest rate. And the truck payment, I got it through a credit union, so obviously the monthly interest rate isn't as bad as a credit card, but we still need to pay that off clearly. And like I said, my end goal is to graduate college, have my businesses, and I can't be having any of this debt following me once I finish college next year. I do want to buy myself another car as a little reward for me for doing something that none of my family members have ever done, which is be a first generation college graduate. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and that's what I've been up to. I'll talk to you guys soon. If you guys have had these experiences or are going through something similar, comment it down below, and let's just motivate each other to keep going through whatever life's throwing at us. Because if we got ourselves into this mess, we can definitely get ourselves out. So hope you guys have an amazing New Year's. Thanks for watching. Like that like button, like the video, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.